Hey guys, it's Ellie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm talking about the best things that I've learned from all the productivity related books that I have read. I have read probably dozens of books related to productivity, and I noticed that almost everything in each book comes up to one thing: having a to-do list, but more importantly, having a not to-do list, which basically means that it's obvious that you need to have a to-do list. That is the things that you want to accomplish in your life, the things that you want to reach in your life, but you should also have a not to-do list. If you want to read any of these books on productivity, the links will all be in the description below. You can check it out, and with a free trial of 30 days, storytel.com/Ali, you can read a lot of these books absolutely for free. But this video is going to probably summarize all the essential things that you need to know about productivity to stop your procrastination habit and get more productive in your schedule. It doesn't matter how hard you work, but it really matters how smartly you do your work. And being more productive means that you will be accomplishing more work in less time. So yeah, since I'm done talking about making the not to-do list, let's move on to the second thing, making a to-do list. And making a to-do list really comes down to your priorities. So maybe buying groceries is not your utmost priority if you want to achieve certain goals. However, it is something that is very important too. So what do? You get these unimportant but also essential things done maybe at the start of the week or in 2 days of the week, and you have scheduled time for these things so that when you're working towards your goals, maybe studying, maybe working very hard for a project, you're not distracted by, oh my god, I forgot to buy milk today. So that really helps, having all the unimportant things tucked away for a particular day or 2 particular days where you get it all done, so that on the other days or when you're working at a particular point of time, you don't get distracted. Distraction is one of the biggest enemies of being productive, and the more you can minimize your distraction never goes away 100%, but the more you can minimize it, the better your productivity levels will be. Next thing that has helped me a lot is to start work the moment I wake up. Usually I keep the food ready from the night before, so that the moment I wake up in the morning, I either eat first or start working and then eat within half an hour. This helps me a lot because when you wake up in the morning, your mind is fresh, you are ready to work. Most of the times, if you spend like the first a couple of hours of your day idle, you sort of get in a rut, and it gets even more harder to start working, to start getting more productive. So make sure that you're starting your work from the moment you wake up. Usually when I do this, I finish all my work of the day by noon, which leaves me with a lot of time at hand for the rest of the day to do anything that I want to do at leisure or anything that will not be productive, because I know that I've accomplished my goals for the said day before 12 noon. This is something that I want you to work on. If you are waking up at 7 or 8 or even 9, try to be as productive as you can in the next 3-4 hours up till noon. The next thing that I had discovered while reading some of these books was Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law basically states that work expands according to the time given for its completion, which also means that you have to set deadlines for the things you want to do. Usually whenever I have an official deadline, my unofficial deadline, that is the deadline that I tell to myself, is about a week earlier or even a month earlier if it's like a very long project. What happens is that if you are thinking that I have 7 days to finish this work, you will take 7 days to finish that work. And if you are thinking that you have 1 day to finish that work, you will finish the work in 1 day. That is why so many projects are done in haste in 1 day. But guess what? If you have 7 days at hand, but you start your work from the very first day, your project, your end result will probably be much better than those who were procrastinating for 6 days and then got the work done in the last day. Now, Parkinson's law was probably the most interesting thing about all these books, because I was totally unaware of it, and when I realized that okay, it's kind of true, I was pretty shocked. And the next thing that I want you guys to remember if you want to be more productive is that have the 1 minute to-do list. I will leave a link to the 1 minute to-do list because it's so important. It basically takes you just a minute to plan out this to-do list, and this will help you a lot in understanding what you want to do, what you don't want to do, what things you should do immediately, what things you should do later on. This is very important because most of the times we spend time doing things that are not necessary, or we spend time doing things that could have been done later on as well. If you want to be more productive with your time, make sure you use the 1 minute to-do list. One of the most common things in the most productive and successful people is their time management. They are really wise with how they are using their time, and they know that whatever they are doing with their time builds or breaks them. Most of us, we just think that we don't have enough time for our projects, and that's why we kind of justify why we are late on the deadlines, why we are not reaching our goals and in time. Now, what I need you to remember is that you have 168 hours in a week, and even Bill Gates has the same number of hours. How you use those hours is totally up to you. What you can do is kind of track where each hour goes for about a week, and it will give you an idea about how much time you're wasting. You will actually notice there's a lot of time you are not actually productive, but you were thinking that you were. This 168-hour rule kind of helped me a lot in starting work on my second YouTube channel, which will be probably live in June. I'm very excited about it. But the thing is, I always kept thinking that I don't have enough time. I already have one channel, I already have marketing, I already have studies. There's so much to do already, and with all this, I probably have no time for a second channel. However, I figured out that although I don't have like extreme amounts of time left, I can easily take out like 1 or 2 hours per week from my schedule to work on a second channel. And that has really helped me a lot, and like starting work finally on it. If there are certain projects that you think you'll really love to do, but you don't have the time, 168-hour rule will really help you a lot. The next pointer is pretty simple, and that is to focus on one thing at a time when you're working at something. Maybe you can schedule your day, maybe you cannot. Just do things as you feel like. But when you're doing something, focus on that thing only. If there are 3 goals that you want to accomplish in a day, don't think about goal 2 while working on goal 3, or vice versa, because that is gonna take you much more time to finish your primary goal when you're working at it. Whenever you're working at something, make sure your 100% energy is directed towards it, because that will make you much more productive than anything else. The next thing that these books had advised me, which really helps me a lot in tracking bad weeks from good ones and in general making a lot of progress, is to track what I'm doing every week. So on Saturday or Sunday, I kind of review everything that I have done in the week according to my to-do list. What helps here is that if I have not really accomplished everything, I'll know. Most people, they don't even track what they are doing. They do the stuff and it's done for them. However, it's really important to review your performance. If there was a task you accomplished in a week, look at how many hours you actually spent on that task. You might have kind of accomplished the task, but it might take you just 2 days. You could have rather spread it over 7 days in the week. Did you do that? Did you not do that? If you had done it that way, would it have been better? Ask yourself questions, reflect on your actions, and this will help you a lot in making the next week more productive. You'll really learn from your mistakes. Most of us, we keep making mistakes and we are like, oh my god, we made a mistake, and okay, that's okay. Now everything is fine, let's move on. However, the attitude should be something like, okay, I learned this from that previous mistake, so I'll probably never do it in the future, at least not consciously. Another thing that really helps me is making a next actions list. Whenever I'm getting done with something, I always have the next action at hand or in my mind, and I start working on the next action immediately. A lot of us, we know what we need to do right now, but when it's done, we feel like, okay, work is done. Most of the times, you don't reach the end until after a long time. There's always something else to do next. And if you have that in mind, it will make you more productive for the future. The next thing that is very important in being more productive is to distinguish being productive from being just busy. If you're doing something, ask yourself, am I doing this just for staying busy? Is this gonna add anything to my future goals? And if the answer is yes and no, then make sure that you don't do it. Most of the times, I spent a lot of time just studying things that were totally out of my syllabus because it was interesting, yes. But I used to think that I'm being productive, while I was actually not. I did enjoy the process very much, but it did not add either to my results nor to my professional life. And that was something that really struck me once I reviewed it and thought about it. So ask yourself that whatever you're doing, is it aligned with your goals? Is it aligned with your to-do list for the future as well? If not, then probably you need to stop doing that. Lastly, I want you to define your life goals after watching this video, and then think about what are the things you should do every year to reach that goal. Like, what should your roadmap look like? And then plan out your months and weeks accordingly to reach that yearly goal. This has helped me a lot in expanding my channel, expanding my marketing business, expanding my Instagram as well. Like, that was something I was working on last year. All of this really helps me a lot in understanding where my energy should go and how should I spend my days. And yeah, I hope that it helps you. Being productive is so important today because most of us, we get overworked, we get stressed. But when you are productive, when you're doing the things that you need to do in time, it is gonna help you so much. It is gonna make everything else so much more easier. And yeah, I hope that I could help you with it. If you want to read any of these books, the link will be in the description below to check them out. Make sure you read them and let me know if you are reading these books. Tag me on Instagram @thehellyblog, and I'll be back with another video next week. Till then.